That's how we like it. Y'all getting a good show around here today. You ready? Good Saturday morning. Hey, you're listening to Exit Strategies. I am your host, Colin J. Millette, broker and owner of Exit Realty Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. Guys, this is your first time listening to us on this show. You're in for a treat. Guys, our mission here is very simple. That is to empower our community, the African American community, through financial literacy and real estate education, guys. We are legacy building. That is what we do. So when you're out there and making them things happen out there in the streets, guys, I need for y'all to put a hashtag on your social media that says legacy building, because that is what we're working to do. We're working to create and to enhance, to strengthen the legacies within our community. Guys, you can find us on Facebook, on our social media, Exit Strategies Radio. We post a show there. Guys, we record for you guys watching us. Hey, how you doing, etc. You guys can see us there. You get a little bit of the extra, the behind the scenes stuff, the conversations that go on off air. And I promise you that those conversations, guys, are relevant and actually provide probably a little bit more substance to the meat that we actually talk about on air. Guys, you can catch us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Exit Strategies Radio. You can find us there. Again, you can view our content there as well. Again, most definitely follow us on Facebook, guys, and you can reach us right here at the station as well. So, guys, look, last week was just amazing. Want to give a quick shout out to Dorothea Bernique over at Increasing Hope, who came in and talked about the D-Free program, debt elimination. I'm really excited about that. Really excited to be very direct about it, to see that at work within our communities. As we work to strengthen our community, guys, by being better stewards, by being more economic driven, in turn looking to help our families and our communities be strong. So look, along those same lines, guys, or similar lines, I'm sorry, we're going to continue a conversation. And they didn't let me loose in the booth this week. Again, they keep me company now. They know how I like to get. I act up a little bit when I'm in here by myself. So with that being said, guys, this week we have with us my guy, my fellow. Look here, I can't call him infamous. That's Rob's name. So y'all give Rob Wilson a shout out when you see him out of the infamous Rob Wilson Jr. But look here, this is my guy right here. This is Fred F.A. Johnson. And the FA stands for Fixed Assets. So Fred is here today with us. He's here on behalf of pastors, but we got, guys, a lot of things to talk about. So look, Fred, FA,
yes, sir.
How's it going?
Fine. Good morning.
Well, look, thank you, first of all, so much for taking time out your busy schedule to join us here today. I know that, you are a very active, member in our community as far as housing, affordability, development, all those things go. So I just want to kind of get into it. You work with a number of organizations. So I guess let's start one and let's go from there.
All right. Just throw it out
Yeah,
there.
just throw it right out there. That's how we're going to do it.
Well, I'm like that old Saturday Night Live skit, the Headley. I got 5 jobs, man. But this morning I'm representing Pastors Incorporated. So we're out here trying to put folks in houses where they own it, where appropriate, where need from a rental standpoint, making sure that things are affordable for folks, and trying to do what we can to redevelop the community at the same time.
Now, Pastor's been around for a long time, and I've had the conversations, here and there. But Pastors actually is a very unique organization. It is, if I recall correctly, it's actually a syndicate may not be the right word for it, but it's a group of churches that have formed an organization. Can you give me a little bit more background on that?
Sure. All too many times we're all trying to do the same thing in our own silos by ourselves. So back in 1999, pastors came together to bring several churches together, try and work through one nonprofit, one organization, work together for one common mission.
Awesome. And pastor stands for?
Pastors associated successfully together to obey, restore, and serve.
Woo!
That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful right there.
But the mission is a mouthful.
Good deal. So pastors actually does a lot of work, obviously, from in various parts of our community. But are there certain areas where you guys are really focused on serving currently?
Right now, we're working certainly downtown on the peninsula where affordability just remains such a key issue.
Okay.
From there, those efforts are really focusing in on the rental side.
Okay.
But wherever we have churches, we're working to do economic development as well as affordable housing project. We're doing a lot of work out in the town of Hollywood that I want to talk a little bit about in a few
Okay.
minutes, a little bit about.
Yeah.
Trying to put some folks in ownership position.
Okay.
But, churches that have excess land, that have property that may need to be either renovated, maybe it's vacant, maybe something else that, some opportunity, looking, trying to figure out, can we do some assisted living? Can we do some commercial rental? Is there something else that we can do so we're not having to pass the plate to depend on our resources?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find other revenue mechanisms to come back into the church.
See, and part of what we were talking about last week, and I know, you and I both know Dorothea well, and,
Yes,
and work with her group, her organization over the years, and a conversation that we were actually having, and I look at, I use your line all the time. So look, I'm gonna say it, but I got to give it back to you because you need to own it today on air. But no money, no mission.
No money, no mission.
And with that, that was part of our conversation last week about how do we strengthen our congregation? If we strengthen our congregation, we have a stronger church.
That's correct.
So to do that, we need to make sure we're putting effort into educating them on how to be more financially savvy. Correct?
Financially responsible, financially savvy, sophisticated, and looking at other ways of how they can both raise revenue but also get out there and execute mission. Because if we can find a way to fund those after-school programs, to fund those outreach programs, without having to rely solely on donations, can we follow a business model? We might be nonprofit, but that just means we're taking a profit and putting it back into our outreach and our mission. But we still want to make sure the revenues exceed expenses. And I know I talk a lot from a business standpoint, but I think the Bible started setting off that way a little bit when we said first bring the tithes into the storehouse. First we got to take care of the money in order that we do our outreach.
See, and you know what, this is a conversation that we had last week. Maybe it might have been a little bit more behind the scenes, guys. I don't know if we had it on air, but we were talking, and unfortunately, no matter how you look at it, church is a business.
It is.
There's still, I met with a pastor, maybe a couple of months ago. We had breakfast. It's a long-time client. We usually get together once, maybe twice a year, break bread, what have you, have our fellowship, so to speak, and just kind of talk about a plethora of things. And we're talking, and that was a conversation that we were having, because they are a leader in their association, and in turn, they're seeing, okay, well, look, this church and what they're doing here, and what they're going to be able to do here. But at the end of the day, that light bill and that water bill comes just like anybody else's light bill and water bill.
The church is a piece of real estate. Real estate eats, sleeps 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day. And so we've got to look at it. And you don't have to have a large congregation to be effective.
Okay.
You can start with a triplex, a quad, because as you're serving people, that's still expanding your reach and your mission.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can move to 10 units, 50 units,
Mm-hmm.
100 units,
Mm-hmm.
assisted living, some
Mm-hmm.
retail space.
Mm-hmm.
We have one church, we've gotten a 10-year lease with Alcoholics Anonymous.
Mm.
So we can make the business piece of it fit with our mission in terms of who we're dealing with, who we're working with, how we're handling our outreach.
Mm-hmm.
It's just changing that mindset. And that's how we're going to change the community.
So, the model that you guys have, and if I recall correctly, you guys oftentimes work in partnership, as you kind of beginning to touch on, with other entities, other organizations, municipalities, etc. So, matter of fact, I think that may be a perfect segue, into this upcoming event. So you guys need to, pay attention to what we're about to talk about. But that's probably a perfect segue into what you guys are doing down in Hollywood, correct?
So it is. We have been fortunate to work across the city of Charleston, North Charleston, Charleston County, town of Hollywood. We work throughout the Tri-County area, and we serve as a vehicle to go get resources to bring to a church or a city project, to provide subsidies where needed and provide some other way of leveraging and providing equity into a project. So one of the things that we want to talk about this morning is we're working with the town of Hollywood on the Holly Grove subdivision project. We're really looking at expanding home ownership and creating home ownership opportunities. And so one of the ways of making that happen, in addition to providing the houses, is providing a home buyer workshop. And so we've got that coming up next Saturday, April 13th at 10 o'clock to really try and educate people on the home buying process and make it less intimidating so that folks are ready to jump and make that move.
See, and that obviously, you and I have had these conversations a lot over the years. We worked together on a number of different, projects and things of that nature. But that piece right there, that the time that's taken on the front end to educate a consumer on not only just process, forgetting all of that really, but just on some of the fundamentals that they should know. So this particular workshop, I know that we're working on having, if you will, some partners from USDA there. We've been having that conversation, but what are the people to look forward to when they get there? What are they going to receive? What information will they be endeavored with, if you will?
Sure. Now, of course, we're going to talk about the basics, the ABCs of how do you go through the home buying process, and different financing options. There are a number of different lending programs. Certainly, we want to let USDA talk about theirs because that's can make the project so affordable, make a home so affordable while working through their direct program out in those areas. But everything from the closing process, how do you go about knowing where you are from a credit standpoint, all those things to kind of help that transition, because we know that home ownership may not be ready for everyone. But my struggle is when I see somebody that's renting and driving a Range Rover, I say, now wait a minute, we got to work on our priorities and make sure where we're going with this thing.
That's hilarious. And look here, we're gonna hit pause right there, guys. We got a signal for the first break. We're gonna talk about that one off air. You listen to Exit Strategies, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. That dude said when they drive in a Range Rover and rent. Look here, I can't even start with you. You pull up and you see. Look, you pull up and you see. You drive by like, wait a minute, that's a mobile. Wait a minute, them 20s, them 25s, got the up on wagon wheels and stuff, and yeah. So that was actually a conversation that we had last week. So about priorities. I mean, that's something, unfortunately, guys, that we sometimes find ourselves, challenge is probably not the right word. I don't think it's the right word, but we definitely find ourselves sometimes out of order with it. We are, Range Rover in front of a rental, because we want to be seen in the car, and it don't matter because we ain't inviting nobody to our house. I'm assuming that's what we're doing. So those kind of things, guys, is where this kind of stuff, this homeownership workshop, how this stuff is designed, why it's designed. It's designed to help us refocus or change our focus, if you will, get us onto, okay, this is how we do this, because that Range Rover is if you hold it long enough, it'll start appreciating sometime. But at some point, we got to wait a long time for that, though. Woo, yes, sir. We gonna pick that one up when we get back. Look here, y'all need to give our awesome producer a shout out too. If y'all happen to see the awesome Joe Mack out there in the street, he don't hear me talking about him because he back there doing this thing on this commercial break, putting this mix in or what have you. Excuse me, but we have an amazing producer, great guy. So please make sure that you give a shout out. Maybe I'll just call the station and say Joe Mack is doing a wonderful job, because he most certainly is. And he ain't paying me no attention at all. He ain't looking at me. But so this Hollywood thing is gonna be great. So y'all need to make sure y'all sign up. I'll tell you where y'all can do that too. I'll tell you now.
It's gonna go. Once it gets started, it's gonna move.
Yeah, very true. Y'all want to be on the waiting list? Y'all interested in living property down there in Hollywood, new homes? Give us a holler.
Payment under $1,000.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. Maybe we're gonna make that happen, guys. We're gonna figure out how to get that done. And we are back, Exit Strategies Radio, guys. I'm your host, Colwyn J. Millette, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina, guys. Hey, if this is your first time listening to the show, I always say you are in for a treat. Our mission here is very simple. That is to empower our community, the African American community, through financial literacy and real estate education, guys. We legacy building. That's what we do. You can find us on social media, Exit Strategies Radio on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube, same handle, guys, Exit Strategies Radio. You can watch what we do here in the studio. You get a little bit of the extra behind the scenes and conversations that we can have off air that we can't have on the mic. So with that being said, guys, please make sure you look us up, follow us there. Now, going into the break, guys, my apologies. We were having a very interesting conversation and get into some meat here on home ownership and how the Pastors Organization is working to facilitate that within our community. So as you guys know, if you were tuned in prior, they ain't let me loose in the booth by myself. I have with me none other than the impeccable, there it is, Fred F.A., that's Fixed Assets Johnson, here with me with Pastors.
Just a little fella, just a little.
So F.A., look, as always, guys, first of all, you've been on with us before. It's been a little while, but the work that Pastors does in our community is very needed. Developing, creating opportunities for home ownership, for rental opportunities, etc. But this project that you guys are doing down in the Hollywood area, that right there is, in my opinion, a game changer. So give us, if you don't mind, give us a little. First of all, matter of fact, I'm sorry, we just kind of jumped straight back into it. Thank you for being on the air again. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
So this project down in Hollywood, what is it that is the ultimate goal for it?
Well, I think the ultimate goal comes back to some of what you opened up with from a legacy building perspective. On the nonprofit side, we use different words, but we're really talking about the same thing. On the individual basis, we want to create individual wealth. We want folks to get into home ownership. I made the comment before. I said, you see people renting a house and they got the Range Rover. We got to work on our priorities and figure out which way we're headed. And understand home ownership may not be for everybody, but those who are positioned and we can get positioned, we want to make that happen. And it's not as difficult as it seems sometimes. On the community level, home ownership is the key to neighborhood stability. In order to stabilize and grow and strengthen the communities, home ownership becomes a key piece of that. Keeping folks vested. So when we start talking about that conversation of legacy building, that's a key piece. In Hollywood, just like some of the properties that you've helped us sell before, we're looking at, start at 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. Pretty much sticking with a similar floor plan that's been successful before, but creating something that someone can have their own space, their own home, right there, right next to Baptist Hill High School.
Mm-hmm.
Right off 165 in Hollywood, in this specific project. But with the workshop, it's for anybody that's looking to get into home ownership. Yes, Pastors is looking to build out over there because we have those funds in place, and we're trying to make home ownership a reality. But we want to educate the community at large on the importance of owning a home, what that means, what that process looks like, because I get it is an intimidating process. People kind of get concerned. You got to get all the bank statements. You got to get all your credit report. You got to get all those different elements. But at the end of the day, it's important and it's critical to making that process happen. And so we really want to just have some real basic ABC conversation of here's what needs to happen, and connect with somebody that can make that happen. Could bring a lender out there that understands that USDA program, take advantage of being out in those rural areas so that we can make it even more affordable.
And that's one of the things that, as we've had the conversation, the program, that is going to be discussed, and, there'll be some, to be very blunt about it, it may not qualify. I mean, we'll find out as we kind of get in, but vast majority, probably will. Affordable housing is meant to assist people with, making a home affordable, not necessarily meant for someone who's making six figures a year. So that may not be what they're looking for. However, for someone who's looking for that, okay, look, I'm tired of renting. I'm paying $700, $800, $900, $1,000 or more in rent. I want to be in a more rural area. Less congestion, less traffic. I want to have my children to quote unquote just be able to go outside and hang out. Get them out the house, let them run that pent off energy up and down the street versus running up and down the hallway. That this is going to be for that buyer, and we're bringing in a partner on this that's actually going to be able to do 100% financing. Yeah.
And so you say why the rural area, why Hollywood? We're building the same house. And we've built it in West Ashley, we've built it in North Charleston, and while those mortgage payments might be north of $1,000, but through the direct financing through USDA, we can get that below $1,000 and expand that affordability, so that becomes a key piece. But the other thing I just want to mention too, while we're having this conversation, is the Holly Grove project isn't just about home ownership. We have rental options as well. We have some duplexes out there that are being rented at an extremely affordable rate. We've got 4 more that are coming out of the ground. So, we keep a waiting list, keep folks interested, and we're trying to put more rental housing because, again, we have an understanding that homeownership may not be right for everyone, but we also want to make sure that folks have safe, decent, and affordable housing. But just like I made the comment about the Range Rover, I do not want to see you driving a Lexus and you got a landlord.
Those two L's don't go together.
They don't go together. Can't have it. No.
Oh, that's funny.
If you got it, then you need to be getting ready for home ownership, and we want to make sure you know what you need to do.
Oh, that's prices right there. Look here, I wasn't quite ready for that one. If you try, I'm sorry. Look here, if y'all look here, I'm in rare form today. So look here, y'all don't pay me no mind. That guy said Lexus and Alert, those two L's don't go together.
No sir.
Oh my goodness. So, obviously, you guys are going to be able to come out and get some real good fundamental information. To be direct about it, it's not going to be extremely overwhelming. It's not going to be high level. It's going to be, just head on, just the very basics, if you will. And then you'll get someone to help walk you through that process of qualifying. And you'd be able to go forward from there.
Yes, indeed. So please put it on your phone, write you a sticky note, put it in your car, but just please remember next Saturday, April 13th, to be at the Hollywood Town Hall. That address is 6278 Highway 162. I think I said 165 earlier, so I do need to make that correction. But the Hollywood Town Hall, next Saturday, 10 o'clock.
Awesome. And guys, you can register. You can find that on exitworkshops.com, guys. We have it posted there where you can register so we can kind of get a head count. Again, exitworkshops.com, and you can register for that workshop there. Guys, look, we got a signal for the next break. Our awesome producer, Joe Mack, is running the boards. We'll be right back after this break.
I gotta pull an exit some kind of way. I gotta pull exit in.
No, look here, we just a little guy. So look, you guys got to make it out to this workshop. One of the commitments that and I don't think I've talked to you about this, at least not a tremendous amount, but we made a commitment to be grassroots, to be in the community, working with people hands-on to assist them with getting across the hurdle. I haven't given a spiel yet today. You guys gonna get that here in a few minutes on air, but about the barriers, removing them or either overcoming them or whatever you got to do. So this whole, thing, workshop and all this is just a continuation of that to, bring the information to the community versus forcing the community to gather itself to come out to get it. Let's take it home.
Take it to the streets.
Let's just take it home, and let's work on making this a reality. Let's change some people's lives in a good way. Let's impact some people in a good way. That's really what we're about. Whether it be us that handles the service for you or not, I just want to see it happen.
I just need to talk about funding. So.
Guys, we are back. Final segment, Exit Strategies Radio, guys. Hey, I'm your host, Colin J. Millett, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group in beautiful North Charleston, South Carolina. Y'all wasn't ready for that one. That was a little bit of change up. I'm working on getting my voice right. I just need y'all to know that. I'm thinking about having to break into singing here pretty soon. But anyway, we just kind of joking, but we might not be. But with that being said, guys, I'm in studio today with Fred F.A., that's Fixed Assets Johnson, on behalf of Pastors. F.A., thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yes, sir. Enjoying it very much.
So look here, we got a lot of content. So look here, we still got a lot of ways to go. So guys, y'all gonna have to tune in next week, and because we have to pick this show up and keep going, so to speak. But F.A., we were having a little bit of comments before or during the break there, and guys, I'm gonna say this to you briefly, but I know you're gonna bring in something about funding. So let's do that first. Let's talk about. Because you had a question or something, I think you
Sure,
were talking about.
Touch on funding because we have a lot of great outcomes. I mean, there are not things around the Charleston community we can point to in terms of bricks and mortar real estate projects that are out there. But specifically, since we're talking about out in the rural area, talking about Hollywood today, I just want to specifically mention, this could not be possible without the support of the town of Hollywood itself. Mayor Jacqueline Hayward, the mayor, certainly took the vision to step out there and get the property, put the road, water, and sewer, and create the environment and the temperament with a good, strong council with a desire to serve the community by making things happen and showing it can be done. Charleston County Community Services Department, providing funds for subsidies so that we can get out there. They're using home federal money through HUD. Specifically, it's called Home Program, but it's HUD funding that comes to the county to make those things happen. So just want to make sure we talk about that because that's how we're able to make these things more affordable. And certainly to our pastors board, our chairman, Joseph Darby, Reverend Barnes, Reverend Miller, Dorothy Harrison, all the rest of our board members. Those are the folks behind the scenes that just make stuff happen.
Yeah, look here, you got a great group over there. Look here, I love talking to all of them. All of them, they be hilarious. But yeah, that's very important. Again, you got to have vision. Elder Evans, over at up here in North Charleston, she says to me all the time, Cole, and people like vision. And when you got a group of people that have true vision, they can move mountains.
Yes, and it's a committed group, and I'm grateful for their wisdom and support because you've got to have your pulse into what's happening in the community, understand the priorities, and figure out how to. As my daddy used to say, which way to G and which way to Hall.
Oh, I love it. So look, guys, we've been having this conversation, going, we started it, months ago. It's a continual conversation, guys, about overcoming barriers. And what we're bringing here as far as content is intended for that. Whatever that wall is, whatever that obstacle is, we're either going to go over it, we're going to go around it, we're going to go under it, and if necessary, then we're just going to bust through it. It is time for us to stop messing around and playing around, and it's time for us to be serious and committed about our business. This is how we change it, by showing up. So this workshop, you guys need to show up for it. Get this information and then put it into action. Guys, you've been listening to Exit Strategies. Again, I'm your host, Colin J. Millett, broker and owner of Exit Realty Low Country Group. Y'all make it a phenomenal week out there. We'll see you in them streets. Come back on another one. All right, so this is y'all break here. We'll see y'all again soon.